2 years ago, our Communities Foundation had just completed a strategic plan where we focused on gathering, growing, and granting, which were pretty much the standard roles of any community foundation. And as we embarked upon the next plan for our civic leadership activities, we had a series of convenings. All of the community conversations led to concerns around employment, economic development, and education.
I think if you start talking to young adults and ask them, why do you leave the area? Their primary answer is, I don't have the opportunity locally.
The issue with education wasn't so much that our communities were not graduating educated graduates, it was that we couldn't retain them. We had a lot of out-migration due to the fact that there were very few entry-level opportunities for young people in our region. Civic Leaders Fellowship Program is an opportunity for our Communities Foundation, as well as the other funders, to put our resources together in a way that creates opportunities for our next generation of individuals who will lead the institutions in this region.
Not only do young adults need to find employment, but in order to have successful communities, we need to have them engaged within the community. We want them to become good civic leaders. Good civic leaders find employment. Good civic leaders become involved in their communities. And it doesn't make any difference if it's the size of the community of Parkersburg or whether it's one of our smaller communities in our affiliate areas. We all need to have engaged individuals.
Mr. Littlepage told me about the program. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had any idea about it. So he let me know about the program and I applied, and luckily we were matched together and it worked out perfectly, because I was exactly where I wanted to be this summer.
I needed summer work, and I needed something that would give me experience in this field that I'm studying, which was English and journalism and writing. And since I really do love this area, I've grown up here and want to stay working in the area, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to find something in kind of a unique field without needing to leave the region.
So when the program came up, Judy made the announcement. It sounded like this is really good. And the application was rather easy. I got the first one in and asked to see if we'd be considered.
We started looking at it, thought that it would be a good thing for our program to have more of a professional worker, and it worked out very well.
It's a way for us to help local students who are already in college to find meaningful work experiences during their summer between college years, as well as to develop capacity for civic leadership upon graduation by exposing the students to work opportunities that will contribute to their ability to be employed in our region.
We wanted to try to find where there were opportunities that we could match a student's field of interest with a host that had a similar type of background for them. If it was someone that was in journalism, hopefully we could find a business that's the type of an intern that they were looking for.
The thing that really kind of gave me that boost towards this internship is being involved in an organization called the FFA, or Future Farmers of America. I'd always been very active in the FFA, and the FFA shows at the county fair, which is hosted and ran by the Extension Office in Jackson County. My current host now, John David, was the new Extension agent that year, so he saw me, and a couple others at the office saw me there, and they heard about this great opportunity, and they sent me an email about it and sent me an application.
When companies are looking for someone to employ, one of the first questions they will always ask, what's your experience? And so many times that young adults graduating from college can say, I don't have the experience, that's what I'm looking for, I need my first job.
Internships are an important step for college students. A lot of college is very academic in nature, and lots of people graduate from college and then they get to the real world and it's, oh, this is totally different than what I expected.
Working 9 to 5 alone is giving me a brand new view of the professional workplace, because I go home, I'm tired. I know I have to be ready for the next day and go in and do my job. It just hits at home that this is what the world is like, and you're expected to do things, and people depend on you to do them.
This allows them to put on a resume they have experience working for some type of a business, whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's a business for-profit or governmental agency. It gives them an opportunity to put it on a resume that many individuals do not have.
Before this summer, I had not ever stepped foot inside a courtroom, and this summer I've been able to see different hearings, a criminal trial, all different types of situations, and that's real life experience that they can't teach you in the classroom.
I believe it's June 29th. There was a freak storm that happened to hit the whole state at the same time. knock all power out to the state and surrounding states. And we've never had anything like that happen to scale like it was that evening. And as soon as that happened, the Red Cross immediately, I think it was 3 or 4 hours after the initial storm hit, we were already starting to have shelters and figure out how to provide services to the community that we're really going to be needing it in the next couple of days following the storm. We happen to be lucky enough to have the headquarters for the whole state for disaster relief. Amazing to me how people pull together in their time of need. No matter who you are, how much money or how little money you have, it seems like people are really moved by just giving back to their community, especially when they're in need, but even when they're not.
I work at Vienna Public Library, and I do many things. They've been really good about teaching me all the things that they do, because I want to be a librarian, so they do a really good job with pairing you up for what field you're going to go into. So I have actual experience working in a library and working full-time, which I've never worked full-time before.
I'm an editorial intern at Birdwatchers Digest magazine. I edit content for the various publications, the magazine, the newsletter, the e-newsletter, website. Sometimes I write original content. I'm also involved with researching and pulling together information and facts about different publications or projects coming up, such as book projects.
The community garden we've got set up, which is basically just like a plot of land, and we till it, we fence it off and make sure it's protected, and people come in and they plant whatever crops they want to grow.
I work in the development department for the city of Parkersburg, and the department itself has a lot of different tasks that they have to work with. And I have a few special tasks that I do by myself. One of the major ones is trying to collect information on our downtown business area. Basically, I try to look for vacant storefronts or empty property in the downtown area and collect information on that, so that if someone is interested in a business coming into the downtown area, we have information where we need it. You know, if someone has a question about what's available, we can easily, tell them we have property here, here, and here that's available that might interest you.
Before the Civic Leaders Fellowship program, I hadn't considered a job in Parkersburg. I kind of figured that there was nothing really of interest to me in the area and that I would need to go somewhere else for employment. But I've gotten to meet a lot of really great business people in the area, a lot of people who've been very open to me and have extended their hands, told me that if there was anything I ever needed, to give them a call. I've learned a lot about the community. I've learned a lot about positions in the community that I didn't know existed. John is amazing. He's a great supervisor. He's the one who's given me the opportunities. He trusts me to write the scripts. He trusts me to write the press releases, and it feels really good.
True philanthropy leads with the heart. You can say whatever else you want to say about the money that goes into a foundation, but it's really about people connecting their passions with causes that matter to them. Many of our board members, as they saw this project in action, they saw the excitement of the 14 young folks who were here during the summer as these young people were out and about in the community, and it really made them feel good that they had actually spotted an issue, identified the issue, looked at the inputs to the problem, and applied some resources to try to address that problem.
Every small community in the United States has the same problems with providing opportunities for young people to stay in their communities after they go away to college. And this program by our area foundation and giving internships, giving them a reason to become involved in the community is one more step that will help them come back. Again, a lot of kids go off to college, they get a job in the city that they're going to college in, and that makes them begin to have roots in that community, and therefore even after college they don't come back. And this again is one way of bringing them back during the summer, year after year, and making sure they understand that there are opportunities available in their own community.
Keeping those young people here is one of the biggest things that we can do to promote more professional and more positive experiences for our youth growing up, so that they see that future ahead of them.
Every generation has its own challenges. When we're looking at West Virginia and the issues that West Virginia has had to grapple with over many generations, this particular generation will have its own set of challenges. education, new industry that is presented to the communities. The idea of communities that are refocusing on what their purpose is and how that can go into the next generation as well. Everybody's sort of a steward of the next generation.
Working with the younger generation, people that are in college right now, and having them come back and start thinking in their mind what their future looks like, what in business or in community service, whatever their avenue is that they choose. When they come back here at this age and they start getting active in the communities, it gets them excited, and then they realize there is opportunity here.
Specifically, one conversation I had with the judge, he let me know that he named 5 or 6 different attorneys just in my town that will be retiring close to the time that I graduate. So it made me a lot more excited to come into the community, to know that there would be work for me, and if I wouldn't have had this internship, I might not have known.
I originally thought about moving out of the area to a more urban setting, but this has shown me that the community could use my help here.
Probably since my junior year of high school, I've known that I wanted to stay in the region. But doing this internship is really it's let me meet a lot of other people, let me go out and meet a lot of people I wouldn't normally meet in the community. And it's really made me realize that a lot of people in this region need people to stay here and work.
So I think it's great to just kind of come back to the area you're from and then give something back. A lot of the interns, work at different places throughout the area, but pretty much all of them go back to their hometowns, and they work somewhere that has some type of effect on the place that they're from, and I think that's a huge part of it also, giving back something to the place that's given you all that you really have.
Our community's foundation publicized the fact that they were doing this fellowship, and frankly, as a small business, we couldn't have afforded to hire Kyle. We tend to do what we can with as few people as we can, and we probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to know Kyle and employ Kyle without this opportunity.
I've really learned a lot about how important it is to get involved in the community and how easy it is, how many places are looking for help and volunteers. And even though I had grown up here, I had very little contact with these organizations and really little knowledge on the importance of that and the importance of those things on your resume for yourself, and also just for giving back to the community, and how important that is to really get plugged into your area and to your community on a business level, nonprofit level, whatever it is.
It has really taught me a lot about being an adult. Working at the Boys and Girls Club, I've learned that you become an adult when you start to give. When you become more of a faucet than a bucket that takes the water. You have to give. And that's when you become an adult.
Put your money on our next generation. Put your money behind these students, because these will be tomorrow's leaders. These will be the folks heading up our businesses, our nonprofits, our government institutions. Our next generation is worth investing in. There's no better place to put your money. Generosity to me is a very hopeful act, and in this case, by contributing to the Civic Leaders Fellowship Program, it said that our community has hope for its future. As we pass this along to the next generation, we're passing the next generation a legacy that's worth building on.